Hi, dear students. So we have the third class today, and it's talking about the equipments and machines depreciation. And we said that we will have in this class we will talk about the third method of calculating the depreciation, which is the sum of years digits method. So in this method of determining the cost of depreciation, all the digits representing each year of the estimated life of the equipment are totaled for an estimated useful life of 5 years, for example. So if we said that the useful life of the asset or the equipment or the machine is 5 years, so all the digits of this number, which is 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the digits of this number will be summed up. So we will do like this. It will be like 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 equals 15. So deduct the estimated salvage value, because each equipment that we have said that it has its own salvage value. So this is why the salvage value of this one it should be deducted from the total cost of the equipment. And during the first year, the cost of depreciation will be 5 on 15. The fifth year, it will be 5, which is the first year. That means we have 5 years left for the equipment. Okay, over the 15 total years of the digits, total of the digits, less the salvage value. And we will see this one how it will be represented in the question itself, the solution of the question. So what I want to show you now, or what I want to explain for you now, that means the first year I still have the full 5 years of the equipment, and this one will be divided by the total number of the digits of that years. So it will be 5 over 15. Okay, during the second year it will be 4 over 15, and so on and so forth, and continue the process for each year through the fifth year. So let's get this question. So let's solve this question, and we will see how we can solve it according to this method, and also to the straight line method, because we didn't have an example or exercise in the previous class for the straight line method, and we promised you that we will solve this question in the next class. And by the way, these solutions I will upload on the e-learning. I will take photos for this one and as a PDF format, and afterwards I will scan it, and I will upload these solutions as a PDF format on e-learning. Okay, so let's go for the exercise, which is 3.8.2. If an original cost of an equipment is 10,000 reals, estimated salvage value is 1,000, and the estimated useful life is 5 years. Okay, use the three methods for the following for the 7 years. This will be 5 years. Okay, we will use 5 years in our solution. Calculate the cost of depreciation at the end of each year, book value at the end of each year. So the first method that we have took already, and we have solved the question already, and so this is why we will take the straight line method, and we will take also the third one, the last method, which is sum of the years and digits method. So let me check this one for you first. Okay, so the straight line method, we have 10,000 reals, the cost of the equipment, and we need to deduct 1,000 reals, which is the salvage value, as we said. So the real value of the equipment, it will be 9,000 reals. The process or the solution will depend on the on this number, because each year depreciation will be 9,000 divided by 5, which is the 5 years. It will be 1,800 reals. So according to the straight line method, this number will be fixed number, because we said that in straight line method it will not decrease by years like in the previous method. So it will be 1,800 reals. Why this one? Because we have divided the value of the equipment regardless the salvage value. You have to deduct, we have to take out first, we have to take out the salvage value, because the salvage value, which is the 1,000, we will take it back at the end of the useful life. So we don't want to count this when we are doing the depreciation. So how much we have for what is the cost that we have to depreciate? We have only 9,000 reals. The 1,000, where is the 1,000? The 1,000 will get it back on the salvage value. So 9,000 will be divided on the 5 years. It will be 1,800 reals. 1,800 reals, according to the straight line method, it will be the depreciation cost for each year of the 5 years. So this is the cost of depreciation at the end of each year of the 5 years. So we will make this table, the year's book value at the beginning of each year, okay, depreciation cost, and the book value at the end of each year. What will be the value of this equipment, okay, at the end of that year? So at the first year, the value of that equipment is 10,000 reals, right? So the 10,000 reals we will deduct on the first year 1,800, will be 8,200. So from the 8,200, this is the book value of the equipment at the end of the first year, which means the same value at the end of the second year. So 8,200 reals will be also deducted from this amount. We will deduct 1,800, because as you can see here that all the numbers are the same, 1,800, because we said this is a straight line method. This is a fixed number to be deducted from each year. And until we reach to the 1,000, that is the salvage value of the equipment at the end of the 5th year. So we will have these book values for the equipment at the end of the first year. It will be 8,000. So if we want, like for example, if I want to sell this equipment at the end of the 3rd year, it will be like 4,600 reals, the cost of this equipment at that time. At the end of the 5th year, it will be 1,000 reals only, because this is the end of the 5th year. But that means the useful life is completed. The useful life ended of this equipment. So this is the only 1,000 real for the equipment, which means that this equipment is done, finished. It's not workable anymore. We are selling this one as a scrap or something like that. So maybe the question will ask you something. Now I have this straight line method, and I want to know, as we said before in the previous class, at the beginning of the previous class, I don't want to calculate or to consider that this equipment that I own is rented equipment, because this is not right. This is a mistake. Almost you will lose the opportunity or the privilege that you have. You own this equipment, which means that your quotation or bid could be more competitive and less than the others, and maybe even you can get more profits with less bid or with less quotation or with less offer that you have in your project. So now I want to calculate the cost of my equipment per hour, for example. So let's say if I'm asking you how much this equipment will cost me per hour, if we assume that this equipment will work 1,000 hours, working hours per year. So if this equipment is working 1,000 hours per year, that means each year we are losing 1,800 reals, right? So divide this by 1,000 hours, that means 1.8 reals per hour, the cost of the depreciation. So if it's if we say that we have like 10 hours a day, we are working 10 hours a day with this equipment, you will multiply, or you will multiply this 1.8 into 10. That means this equipment costs you 18 reals per hour. Adding to that the operator's salary, adding to that the petrol, adding to that the accommodation and food for the operator, add to that maybe the transportation of the equipment from and to the site. It is one time, maybe it is one time, or it depends on the nature of the project. Maybe it's a big project and you need to commute from here and there in between different places, so you have to take this in account after all. So this is why, as I'm telling you, this is very important, and you have to take it into account. But this one is the depreciation cost per hour. Okay, so let's go and calculate this one again, but in the other method, which is the sum of the years method. So as we said, that the sum of the years method, it will be 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5. That means we have 15 total for the digits of the years. So if we have 6 years plus 6, it will be 21, and so on and so forth. Again, we will do the same thing. The salvage value of the equipment is 1,000 riyals. So that means we are using the 9,000 riyals here when we are doing our depreciation. So the depreciation base here, we will make one column which is for the years, for the depreciation base, remaining life, fraction, and depreciation expenses. And by the way, here we will start from the 9,000. At the line straight line method, we are starting this from the 10,000. Although we have said that 9,000 is divided by 5, this is only to know the depreciation rate per year. But we are starting the book value at the beginning of the year. The real cost of the equipment is 10,000 riyals. Okay, but here the calculation is different, and we will see here. In the solution where we will use this one, because this is not the ultimate or not the final table. We have two tables here. At that table we use the 10,000. Now here I just want to know the depreciation expense. So depreciation base starting from 9,000. Remaining life, fraction, which is a 5 over 15, 4 over 15, and so on and so forth, and depreciation expense. So this table, we're doing this table to know only the depreciation expense, and we will use these numbers later on in the other table. So in the first year, depreciation base, it's 9,000 riyals, and remaining life, the first year still I have 5 years. In the first year, still I have 5 years. Okay, so on this fraction, we will multiply the 9,000 with 5 over 15. It will be 3,000, and so on and so forth. We will get these numbers. This is the depreciation expense. Okay, so we will go. We have these numbers. We want these numbers, in fact, and we will use it here in this table, which is the final table that we will get the book value of the equipment. So year 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. So book value start with 10,000 riyal, and 3,000 riyal the depreciation expense that we have taken out in worked out in the previous table. That means 10,000 minus 3,000 will be 7,000. The book at the start or the start of the year 7,000. 2,400 minus 2,400, 4,600, and so on and so forth, until we reach to the salvage value, which is 1,000 riyals. So the depreciation here, we have calculated the depreciation here in the straight line method. We have calculated the depreciation. We use the 9,000 divided by 9. We reach to the depreciation cost. In the second method, which is the sum of the years method, we have taken the 9,000 again, but we have multiplied this one with the fraction of each year to get the depreciation cost. And we have used this one later on in the next table, which is this table. Okay, so now we will go to some of the information which is very important to have. We were talking about the hiring the equipment and owning the equipment itself. So what are the differences between these things? I have, and let's say positives and drawbacks or negatives of equipment hire, in order to know the contrary of that, of owning the equipment. So equipment hire positives, no initial investment. You don't need to have like the amount or the money of the equipment itself at the beginning. You just want to pay the premiums or the rent fees each month, each 2 months, each 3 months, whatever the conditions of the contract might be. No cost of maintenance and spare parts, because this one mostly, if it's rented, will be on the owner of the equipment. When you hire the equipment, all these things, maintenance and spare parts, will be on the owner himself. Contractor will not be responsible for the cost of owning. If you are the contractor, you will not be responsible for the cost of owning. What does this mean? This means depreciation. You are not concerned with the depreciation, taxes, capitals, all these things. You are not concerned with all these things. The chance of having high technical equipment, because whenever you want to rent, you have the full choices, pool of choices to choose maybe the latest equipment that you want. I mean, the most modern equipment that you want. Availability of wide range of alternatives, as I said, that you can choose whatever you like for your job and most suitable. But when you have, or when you own this equipment, this is your equipment and you have to use it in your work, even if it's not like the first option or the best option for the job. Having skilled manpower to get high level of productivity. Mostly the one who's hiring the equipment for you, mostly or sometimes, they provide the operators with their equipment, because you don't have one operator, or you don't need to bring it yourself. So this is why you will have a highly skilled manpower from those people who are providing you, or from those vendors who are providing you with these machines. Yours, maybe if you own one of the equipments, you need to to get in new operators, and those maybe they need to have some courses or training or something like that, until they get the experience and skills and expertise. It will take time. So this is why you don't, all these things you can skip, and you can rent an equipment with a skilled manpower. Okay, for the equipment hire drawbacks, these are the positives. The drawbacks: no availability of equipment and machines when required, especially the rare ones. For example, you will not be able to find the equipment. So maybe sometimes you have a project and you want to choose something, one of the equipments. It's not necessarily that once you go to the market of this trade, okay, you will find it. So sometimes you just take so much time to find the equipment that you want with the specifications that you want. So maybe you will not find it at the right time. Extra cost because of the profit of the owner, sure, and this is what we have said, and this is what we have to neglect when we own the equipment. There is no profit. So if you own the equipment, there is no profit. That will be cheaper for you. Some restrictions imposed by the owner of the equipment. He will put some conditions, restrictions on you. If you want to rent this equipment from him, that one will not be available if you own the equipment. This type, which is rent, is not merit for the contractor while tendering, as we said before, as we have explained. And lack of experience of using the equipment, as I said also in the positives. And misuse of the contractor for the equipment, and this is not good for the owner himself, because the contractor who rent the equipment, he will not use it like it's his own equipment. So for the owner of the equipment, those people or entities or companies who are using his equipment, renting his equipment, then use it, they may misuse it because it's not theirs. All the above mentioned pros and cons should go through a rigorous feasibility study before deciding whether to go for either the two options, which is owning and rental. So it needs to. It doesn't mean, when I'm saying that, doesn't mean that owning every time is better than hiring equipment. No, it depends on the project itself. It has to go through a rigorous, accurate studies and you have to know which one is the best for you in the situation that you have or the contract that you have. Maybe sometimes owning the equipment is better for you, maybe sometimes the rental is better for you. It depends on the situations and the studies that you have to and feasibility studies that you have to do before deciding whether you go to this option or to the other option, because some people they might choose the rental, some others they might choose the owning according to the circumstances that they have. And this is the end of our class for today, and see you in the next class, the fourth class, inshallah. Thank you very much for listening, and assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.